Have you ever pondered about the true nature of good and evil that resides within us all? This conundrum has been a subject of debate among philosophers, psychologists, and scholars of all kinds for millennia. Let's embark on a journey to examine the duality within each one of us, an inherent part of our human nature. This is not a journey of judgment, but of understanding. A journey to explore and acknowledge that each of us harbors the potential for both good and evil actions, a dichotomy that lies at the very core of our existence. Picture an invisible scale within us, a scale that weighs the good against the evil. On one side of the scale, we have our benevolent impulses, the acts of kindness, the desire to help, to nurture, and to love. These are the actions that often bring a smile to our face, a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of warmth in our hearts. On the other side of the scale, there's the darker side of our nature, the potential for harm, for cruelty, for selfishness. These are the impulses that we often suppress, the thoughts we shy away from, the seeds of actions that could cause pain and suffering. This internal scale is not fixed, but rather it fluctuates, swaying back and forth as we navigate through the trials and tribulations of life. Some days the scale might tip towards the good, driven by our acts of kindness, empathy, and love. Other days it might lean towards the evil, driven by our acts of selfishness, anger, or spite. But here's the crux of the matter. This duality, this potential for both good and evil, does not define us. It's not the thoughts that cross our mind or the potential for action that makes us who we are. It's the choices we make, the actions we take, the impulses we act upon or resist that truly define us. We all possess this duality, but it's our choices that define us, not our thoughts. Consider the Native American tale of the two wolves. It's a simple yet profound story that speaks to the human condition. Within each of us, there are two wolves, locked in an eternal struggle. One is the embodiment of goodness, brimming with kindness, bravery, and love. The other is the epitome of evil, seething with anger, jealousy, and greed. These two wolves are not just figments of a tale, but representations of the real, tangible choices we face each day. They're the embodiment of the internal conflicts that shape our actions, our decisions, and ultimately our lives. The tale tells us that the wolf that wins the battle is the one we feed. If we feed our good wolf, that is, if we choose kindness, bravery, and love, we empower good within us. But if we feed the evil wolf with anger, jealousy, and greed, we give power to the evil within. So which wolf are you feeding? Now let's pivot to a more modern anecdote, the story of the Good Samaritan. This tale unfurls on a dusty highway where a man is left beaten and robbed. Many pass by, but it is the Samaritan, an outsider, who chooses to stop. This choice isn't made lightly, as he knows the man is of a different tribe, possibly even an enemy. Yet he sets aside these prejudices and acts with compassion, tending to the man's wounds and ensuring his safety. Here we witness a choice, a decision to act not out of obligation, but out of kindness. It's a choice that goes against the grain, defying societal norms and personal biases. It's a choice that embodies the essence of humanity, the capacity to empathize with another's pain and respond with love. The Good Samaritan made a choice to feed the good wolf within him. However, not all choices lean toward the good. Consider the story of the selfish man. This man was blessed with abundance, yet he was blind to the needs of those around him. He was a man of means, but not a man of empathy. His heart was hardened, his spirit locked away in a fortress of self-interest. Every day, he was faced with the opportunity to extend kindness, to share his wealth, to ease the burdens of others. Yet he chose not to. He decided to hoard his riches, to feast alone while others starved. His choice wasn't just a reflection of his character, it was a choice to feed his inner evil wolf. He allowed the growls of greed to drown out the whispers of compassion. This choice, this deliberate act of feeding the evil wolf, led to the suffering of many. The man chose to feed his evil wolf, a choice that led to suffering. These stories may seem extreme, but similar battles occur within us daily. And so, we arrive at the crux of our journey. The everyday choices, the mundane decisions, the seemingly insignificant dilemmas. They may not seem like much, but they are the very essence of the battle between good and evil that rages within us. Every act of kindness, every moment of selfishness, they all add up, they all matter. They are the bricks that build the castle of our character. Imagine you're walking down the street, absorbed in your thoughts, and you see a stranger drop their wallet. You're late for a meeting, the wind's biting at your cheeks, and it would be so easy to just, well, ignore it. But you don't. You pick it up, you call after them, you return what's lost. That's a victory for the good wolf. That's a choice that feeds the better part of us. Consider another scenario. You're at the supermarket, there's one piece of cake left. You see a child reaching for it, their eyes wide with anticipation, but you want it, and you could easily take it, couldn't you? But instead you step back, you let the child have it. Again, a triumph for the good wolf, a choice that reflects kindness and empathy. But we're not always this noble. Sometimes we're selfish, sometimes we're inconsiderate, we take the last piece of cake, we ignore the dropped wallet, and that's okay, that's human. The important thing is to recognize these moments, to understand that they too are part of this eternal battle within us. The key lies not in being perfect, but in striving to make choices that nourish the good within us more often than not. It's about tipping the scales in favor of kindness, compassion, and empathy. It's about not letting the evil wolf starve, but ensuring that the good wolf is always just a little bit more well-fed. Everyday choices are the meals we offer to our wolves. The power, my friends, lies in our ability to choose. The beauty of existence is the autonomy we hold, the freedom to chart our own course, to decide which path to tread. It is as if we are constantly standing at a crossroads with two wolves, one good and one evil, tugging us in opposite directions. These wolves, they are not extrinsic forces. They reside within us, woven into our very being. They represent the duality of our nature. The good wolf stands for kindness, empathy, and love. The evil wolf, on the other hand, embodies greed, hatred, and fear. Every day, at every moment, we are presented with a choice: which wolf to feed. We can either choose to act out of love or give in to our fears, to be selfless or to be selfish. Each choice, no matter how insignificant it may seem, carries weight. It is like a pebble thrown into a pond, creating ripples that reach far and wide. Our choices shape us. They define our character, our values, our beliefs. They sculpt our destiny. The wolf we choose to feed today will grow stronger, influencing our future choices. It's a cycle, a continuum, yet it's crucial to remember that we are not bound by our past choices. We are not chained to the wolf we fed yesterday. Every new dawn brings with it a fresh opportunity to choose again, to steer our life in a different direction. This power of choice, it's not a burden, it's a privilege. It's what makes us human, distinct from other creatures. It's what allows us to change, to grow, to evolve. So the next time you find yourself at a crossroad, remember the wolves. Remember that the power to choose lies with you. You get to decide which wolf to feed, which path to tread. We are, after all, the sum of our choices. Let's make them count. Yet, it's crucial to remember that neither wolf is inherently bad. In the grand tapestry of our existence, every thread has its place, every color its purpose. Good and evil, light and shadow, they are but different shades in the complex painting of humanity. Our virtues and vices, they're not separate entities, but two sides of the same coin, two aspects of the same person. It is this duality within us that makes us human. Imagine your virtues without your vices. Would you be as empathetic without knowing the sting of guilt? Would you be as generous without understanding the pain of want? Just as a beautiful melody is incomplete without its low and high notes, our goodness is incomplete without the contrast of our darker side. This duality is not a burden to be shunned, but a reality to be embraced. To accept this duality is to accept our whole self, the light and the shadow, the saint and the sinner. It is to acknowledge that we are capable of both kindness and cruelty, love and hate, generosity and greed. Yet, acceptance is only the first step. The true challenge lies in managing this duality. It's about finding a balance, a harmony between our two wolves. It's about using our dark side as a tool for understanding, a mirror to reflect on our actions and decisions, a compass to guide us towards our better selves. However, embracing our duality does not mean giving free rein to our darker side. It's not an excuse for wrongdoing or a license for cruelty. It's about understanding our potential for both good and evil and consciously choosing the path of kindness, empathy, and love. Just as the day needs the night, the sun needs the moon, we need our duality. It's a part of us, a part of our journey, a part of our story. It's what makes us beautifully, wonderfully, perfectly human. Embrace your duality, but remember to choose wisely. So, what have we learned today? We've delved into the multifaceted nature of our human spirit, the duality within us all that is composed of both good and evil. Like the tale of the two wolves, we each have a noble beast and a malevolent one battling within us. These are not just abstract concepts, but they shape our actions, our decisions, and ultimately our lives. We saw this duality through the story of the Good Samaritan, a person who chose to act on his good nature despite the circumstances. Conversely, we examined the selfish choice, where one lets the evil wolf take the reins, acting out of self-interest without regard for others. Our daily lives are filled with such choices. Every moment we decide which wolf to feed. Do we give in to anger, resentment, greed, and fear? Or do we nurture kindness, compassion, love, and understanding? These choices might seem insignificant in the moment, but they add up, shaping our character and determining our destiny. We've learned about the power of choice. It's not about suppressing the evil within us, but rather acknowledging its existence and consciously choosing the path of goodness. It's about understanding that our choices have consequences and that we have the power to steer the course of our lives. We've also learned that embracing this duality is an essential part of our human journey. It's not about striving for perfection, but about striving for growth. It's about becoming more aware of our inner wolves and learning how to use this awareness to make better choices. So, as we reflect on these lessons, let's remember that the battle between good and evil isn't just something that happens out in the world. It happens within us. And in this internal battle, the victor is determined by the choices we make each day. In the end, it's not about eradicating the evil wolf, but about making the choice to feed the good one more.